Welcome. We're live, Kasia. We are actually live. We had a few slight technical issues, but like true, the goddess divine power, we just powered through and we made it happen. So thank you for that. Well done. Well done. Now, Kasia, as you may have seen, I have been doing these interviews with people that I know that I think are amazing. And you're one of those people as well. So you're my amazing friends and people that I know group. And I wanted to get your perspective, talk about your areas of expertise, and really help people to understand the different ways that they can cope throughout these difficult times, using the techniques and the methods that, you practice yourself and through your experiences. Now, I know that, I do like a little brief intro on people. So I'll do a little brief intro. Kasia is a healer in the Mystery School, and that's how I know Kasia. But she's also a Tantric Yoga teacher, and she also does many other things because, of her path of walking in the Mystery School. And you may have noticed the common theme that we are very active in our communities and doing lots of other things as well. And Kasia is no different. So, Kasia, would you mind giving us a little bit of background of who you are and what you do in the world?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I feel honored, and I'm so excited to share and to talk and nourish our community in those beautiful videos. So thank you for having me. So as you said, I'm a healer in the Modern Mystery School. But prior to that, my path was first connected to yoga and to breath work. And truly to self-love. That was really where my path began. It was first for myself. I've experienced many different teaching, like emotional freedom technique, deeper connection to self through breath and yoga. And I think during this time, especially now, we so need this time for self to really reconnect, to really connect to our heart, to our body, and to listen to that wisdom within. What do we need when it's time to say yes for us, to maybe meet with the friends? Maybe sometimes it's time to say no and honor that need within to rest and quiet down, especially now going into slowly into the fall and winter. We'll need a bit more of that downtime to rest and rejuvenate and maybe reflect perhaps on the last few months. What's important for us in life? How can we show up more in our life for ourselves and those ones we love?
So this is interesting, Kasia, to me, because when people talk about self-love, so let's look at people that have never had any maybe yoga training, they haven't had any, our listeners maybe that haven't had any yoga training, haven't done any breath work. And when we start to talk about love and self-love, that can be quite removed from what people are used to hearing. They don't necessarily understand what that means. Mm-hmm. Even though, when we start to work with it, we may have a feeling or a sense of what that is. So could you give us a little bit of insight what that actually means when we are honoring and loving ourselves? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, self-love is such a wide subject, and even for my journey, self-love so many times changed the meaning and really expanded. It's a constant growth. It's like this knowing oneself. What do I need really in this moment? And so often with my clients when I work, I'm also a Women Circle Facilitator. So we work with this goddess energy, this nourishment from within. I always say to women, start the day with asking oneself, how can I love myself more today? And each day the answer might be different, the needs might be different. So when we begin the journey of self-love, it's so important to love oneself for not loving oneself before, to just begin the journey, to realize it's okay to not understand, it's okay not to know, and come from this loving space. I'm here now, and from this moment on, I commit to oneself, because I often seen from my workshops as a facilitator or previously as a participant, someone can create a space for us of connection to our heart. And there's this glimpse of connection when we feel like, wow, that feels so incredible, so nourishing. And that's beautiful. That connection is important. But I truly feel like in self-love is so important to commit to oneself, to that path of self-discovery, self-knowing, and continuously finding how can I love myself more? Because sometimes self-love means flower bath and maybe evening in with the book under the blanket, and sometimes it's really pushing through those limitations, those fears, and really being that goddess warrior. Okay, I can do it. I don't feel comfortable, but I really need to push through it. Where are my limitations? Where is my team? Who can I ask for help? And that will be very self-loving as well. So, there's so many aspects of self-love. There's no one way. And for each of us will be different each day. So
I like that. And I like that, when often we talk about self-love, we think about and the goddess energy and the divine, and we think about all these ladies going around and it's all flowery and everybody's like hugging each other, and which we do, which is amazing, which is great. Pre-COVID, sorry, but I should make that clear. But or eye connections or whatever it is, which is fantastic. But then you mentioned something important, that self-love is pushing through. Self-love is saying no when those boundaries are being crossed. So self-love can mean that, if I'm in a relationship and someone is crossing the boundaries and not showing me that respect or love, then to have that self-love, then I need to be the goddess and need to say no. So can you tell us a little bit more about that in terms of how, because I think women have this feeling that we should have to just please everyone, and that we should say yes, and that we're being selfish if we don't say yes, or if we don't put everybody first.
Yeah. And I can so relate to it. My journey, I think so many empaths, both men and women, we so often want to, as you said, please everyone, make the peace, so everything is smooth. And then we forget about ourselves to fill that pot, but we can only share from the space of fullness. So quite often on Women's Circle, this is a big one, especially for women. It's almost ingrained in our DNA as a mother. Even if we don't have a kid, we have this motherly energy within, where we want to nourish everyone, we want to take care of everyone. And then suddenly, we give, and the balance is lost, where we don't receive, where we don't nourish ourselves. So it's very important to really come from space. Okay, have I given enough to myself? Do I have something to share? Or am I constantly just giving? And what is my reason for giving? That's another one, kind of deeper exploration. Am I giving because I expect something back? Or what I'm giving is from my pure heart of love and really showing up in my fullness for this person? Because that's also something which through our journey, as we're getting deeper connected to self, we'll start seeing the difference when someone gives with a price tag, and when someone purely gives with this open, beautiful heart of unconditional love. So, but it all has to start from within. So we have to start giving with unconditional love to self. And it can be in small way. It can start perhaps with diet, or, the commuting to oneself, like, okay, I will go 2-3 times a week for a walk because this nourishes my body, my soul, and I have a nice time. It doesn't have to be those massive actions. It can be small baby steps. And as we, I always feel like as we ingrain something in our daily routine, then it's a time to add something else. So it's kind of stacking the habits, the good habits, till this becomes our style of life. We don't have to think about it. It's so normal that I go and connect to nature. It's not like oh my God, I need to do it. So it really just naturally unfolds and opens more possibility of love and connection. And I feel really love is connection to self, connection to that true essence of who we truly are, where we really can understand what's my needs, what's my desires, what's my true expression. Like you said, this yes and no. Are we able to say no in a loving way and respectful way to self and to that person, or perhaps company, or our boss, because it's not only in romantic relationship, it's the friendships, it's the family, work. So sometimes saying honest yes, and know that next time I will show up really fully for that person, I'm really fully for that project, but this time I need to say no. And people will really appreciate that. They might be at first maybe quite surprised when we are used to saying always yes. They kind of think, oh, she definitely will say yes, or he will definitely say yes. And when we start saying those no's, they might be at first a bit uncomfortable and a bit maybe not that, communicated in such a well manner. But with time, people around will get used to it. And in some way, we give them permission to honor themselves, and we give them permission to say no. And to honor themselves. And then when we do come together for a project, for a meeting, for a fun time, and we're showing up like, oh, I'm here with you right now. I don't have to think of my shopping list and my work. I'm really, truly here with you. And that true connection of, to being or a group, it's so precious, so precious.
I really like this because, what I like about that is that sometimes we say yes to so many things that we are giving just a small percentage of ourselves, because like you say, we want to be at home doing putting the kids to bed, or we want to be doing, or whatever it is. And interestingly, when we give 100% of ourselves, then we start to create this magic. And so everything that we touch and everything that we do seems to flow a lot more. So what I think I'm hearing is that when we are practicing true self-love, is that we are learning how to create magic in our lives and how to manifest. And that's what I really like. I'm all about the magic, but I really like that. And I think it's an important point that you bring up, is that, this stacking analogy, is that you can start off with the small little increments of things, and then they become a habit. So what are your 3 top tips? So, we've got, maybe people are out there and, they have spent 6 months at home with the children, COVID. The children are now going back to school, which is a little bit more, even more stressful. Maybe they're going back to work. Maybe they're working from home still. And they've decided now, okay, I want to really look after my mental health. And so, maybe self-love is something that they can start right away. So from your experience, what 3 top tips would you give someone when selecting how to approach self-love? I know it's a big question.
Only three. Wow.
You can have more.
So I will definitely say, find a time to breathe, find a time to be still. And I really love all kind of different heart meditations and breathing technique. So just simply placing the hands on the heart and closing the eyes and really breathing and just asking maybe that question, just breathing into the heart and really sensing the heartbeat and just allowing the body to rest and asking at the beginning of the day or at the end, how can I love you more? How can I love you more? And just really waiting for maybe feeling or sensation to come through. Just doing this for a few seconds, I already felt like, oh, I'm softening. So
yeah, I felt that. I felt the softening as well, because felt myself closing my eyes. I was like, oh, you're right. Yeah, I love that.
So just dipping in connecting to the breath, dipping into our body. Our body, it's so wise. From the Tantric Yoga, I have to say this is so beautiful when we can really truly connect to our body and really listen to its wisdom. We have that knowledge within. And mystery school, that's something that really taught me, to come back in, to know oneself and really listen to that inner wisdom, to that inner voice. So coming back to 3 tips: breath, connection to the heart, and just allowing moments of stillness. They don't have to be half an hour. It doesn't have to be an hour, but start with 1 minute. If 1 minute seems a lot, do 30 seconds and just see how it is just to breathe and just to listen to your heart. How it is to say to maybe your beloved one, your husband, your wife, your partner, your kids, Mama needs now 5 minutes for herself, and just go into another room and make herself, your favorite tea or glass of water, and just be. So I feel like sometimes we live in this society where we are doers. We do, and we don't find time to still. And I think true healing and true knowing happens in stillness. And that's so important. We need to really be self-loving and allow ourselves to rest and know that when we rejuvenate, when we nourish, the next time when we show up for ourselves or for the work or our loved ones, it will be to such a higher capacity because our cup will be fuller. So we in our community, we offer such a beautiful sessions, max meditation and a stress reduction. So please come and use it and allow yourself this half an hour a few times a week to really connect to yourself, to your body, to your breath. We've got so many incredible teachers who are guiding us and giving their time to support our community. So please use it and love yourself in that way. That's a beautiful step to take. Oh, Kate, I cannot hear you.
Sorry, there you go. I put it on mute so that I could really, enjoy your meditation. There would be no background noise, and then I forgot. But I really love that because it's all of those things are doable. They're all available right now, right this minute. Everybody can stop and just take a breath. Everybody can breathe on the planet. Everybody can breathe. So, but we've had this conversation before. Yes, you can breathe, but have you ever really connected to your breath? That's the difference.
Yes.
So just taking that time to connect to your breath, because I know we have a lot of listeners out there that perhaps think, oh well, this just breathing isn't going to help me. I've got the mortgage to pay, I've got the kids to go, and But I think what's interesting is that when we start working with the breath, and as you said, with self-love, what I'm hearing from you is that you start to create this inner peace.
Yes.
And then from this inner peace, we can make better choices and better decisions, and find out what it is that we really actually want. So what I want to ask is, so say if I'm doing all of this work and, our listeners are going to be like, okay, so I'm going to do all this self-love and I'm going to, this is great. Does that have an effect on the people around us, or is it just something that we're doing for us?
No, definitely. I just wanted to add, actually, I meant conscious breath.
Yes.
Because that makes a difference. So when we pause and we find the space to really connect to our breath, it's all about taking all those little steps. So when I go into my meditation or into my breathing practice, I create a beautiful sanctuary, beautiful space for myself at home. I lit the candle, I put the incense, maybe I dim the lights, I tied up the space. So there are also kind of steps to prepare before to connect, even if we're connecting for 2 minutes, but can we really fully show up for ourselves in this moment of conscious breathing? Sorry, this conscious breathing was like in my head. I need to mention is a conscious breath, not just, like that. It's really settling in and really connecting, or the same, connecting to the heart rhythm and really listening to it, because there is a stillness in there to be found. And coming back to what you've asked, oh my God, it definitely affects everyone around us, because we are like this beam of light, of love. As we nourish ourselves, as we raise our vibration, and we come from this space of stillness, we instantly affecting the environment around us. And we know that as a healers in Modern Mystery School, studying the beautiful magic, we know how frequency, affects everything around. So even we don't need to have that background, but we so often we go out and we meet someone and we don't know much about them, but we meet them and we think like, wow, he or she, they're so beautiful, so peaceful, I want to spend more time with them. And I don't mean in a romantic sense. They just like beautiful human beings, and we cannot really pinpoint why it is. They just have this beautiful aura around them, this beautiful energy, and we drawn towards to them. And sometimes we might meet people and we don't know them, and we feel like, I maybe don't want to spend that much time with them. I will call them maybe energy vampire. And there's no judgment in there. There's just like knowing, self-loving decision. Who is my tribe? Who do I want to spend time with? Who brings me nourishment? Who makes me smile? And who maybe drain my energy? So it's just that discernment, who is good for me and who kind of deserve my energy and my love to be shared with. So that kind of self-value. So I would say definitely, as we working on ourselves, we truly affecting people around, our loved ones, coworkers.
Yeah, I think this is important because as women, especially women, and men as well, but I know, as we were talking about the motherly love, we're always looking at things that we can do for others.
Yeah.
And I think this is a driving point. So if that driving point is that I'm doing this for my family and my whole family environment, sometimes that can be the decider as to whether I sit down and do 5 minutes or not 5 minutes, for some people. So I think it's important that we understand that when we do this self work and this self-love, that it is creating a calm and serene and balanced energy for the whole household. And also, if you're teachers and you're going back to the classrooms, then you'll be creating a balanced environment for the kids in the classroom, or in the office, if you're in the office, for all your work friends. And I think if we all could take on and take that responsibility on of loving ourselves, then in effect we would end up all loving each other a lot more, because
Yes,
we would have this really balanced, gorgeous energy everywhere.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead.
It will be so much easier. I think when we come not from this space of just giving unconditionally, there is no neediness. There is no need like, oh, I need this in return. We just give. So it's kind of like carrying that inner smile, that inner light. And it's like saying to the world, here I am, with my open heart, with all the love, and just sharing that. And I really truly believe, like, just by being in our center, in our harmony, we already are of service to others, and we bring change just in being our, joyful, loving self. So it's definitely, I mean, if everyone will take, this responsibility for self to bring more love, both men and women, and I feel like more and more men are actually so open to it. Last year when we were still able to do the workshops, I was running a self-love workshop, and I had an equal amount men and women, where prior to that it was always quite large amount of females. It was so beautiful. My heart melted, because men, they were really asking questions. They're really curious, and to see that softness. There was this strength and rootedness, of a masculine, but they were able to soften into the heart and really let the love in. And it was so nourishing just to see them allowing this energy in, and this balance of this masculine and feminine within each and every one of us. walking that, as a Kabbalist, we know, walking that our life, daily life, in that middle pillar, it's so important. So
Kasia, something that I wanted to ask you. Now, I know that you often work with very sensitive people. So people that feel and sense maybe more so, or let's say they don't feel or sense more, they're aware of more.
yeah.
Let's say that. So, you have, I know your clients may be affected by the people around because of their open heart, because, this is what I hear a lot of people saying to me, yes, but if I have my heart open, am I going to get hurt? I'm going to feel things, sense things. So, I'm talking about maybe empathic people. What tools do we have? What do you recommend for those clients? Because I know you have a lot of them coming to you.
Yes, I would say life activation is the very first step. It's a beautiful alignment of our structure and activating our DNA, coming back home to our true essence. And as we do that, the next step will be really empower thyself to really getting the tools where we can work each and every day for ourselves, becoming our own healers, getting to know ourselves more. And then, as a healers in Modern Mystery School, we've got so many beautiful tools, for those who are really empathic and really sensing, taking care of your auric field, so important. So perhaps doing an aura session with your guide or with your healer, and little things at home, maybe a salt bath or using a sage, like little things which, when done every day, can really make that little difference and help. But the true journey of self-love, and it's self-knowing, mastering self and discovering self, because only from that space, when we truly care and when we truly commit to ourselves that yes, I want to bring more love and more joy to my life, we kind of taking responsibility. We take the life back in our hands, and from that space, we really truly can create everything and be those magicians, those alchemists, where we can really transmute and transform everything to bring that alignment, this harmony and joy and peace, and then share that with those around us.
That's amazing. I really wanted, I know there's a lot of people out there right now who are feeling very sensitive, have a heightened awareness. And, a lot of them I know retreat and they don't feel like they can be part of the society and things like that. So I wanted them to know that you have a lot of clients that come to you, with those different types of awareness, and that they can get help. Now, I know that you're very busy because you are doing your goddess circles and your healings, and you're arranging classes and all sorts of amazing things. And you do retreats in Bali. And I know, there's lots of different things going on. But I do know that you are taking clients. So I just wanted everybody to know that you can contact Kasia. She would, I'm going to ask her now, do you do consultation online if people need a consultation?
Or over the phone? Yes.
Great. And Kasia, can we put in your contact details in the comment box? I can do that for you. And just to make sure everybody can reach you and connect with you. And when are your next goddess circles and such like happening?
So the Women's Circle starts this Sunday, actually, next 6 weeks. So it's actually hard opening. As 6 weeks, we'll be working on opening our heart and really connecting to that inner wisdom, working with intuition of our womb. So that starts this Sunday at 6 p.m. Healing sessions are happening always throughout the week. So anytime anyone needs support, I'm here. And retreats in Bali, they were due to happen this September, but I think they will be postponed now to next year. But there's definitely more beauty coming online to share with everyone.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Kasia. Thank you for your time today. And I'll make sure that your contact details are in there, because I know there's going to be a lot of people wanting to get in touch with you about the topics that we've discussed today. So thank you. And thank you, everyone. Say
Thank
goodbye.
you so much for having. Bye-bye. Have a beautiful day and lots of self-love to all of you. May you embrace that.
You've inspired me. I'm having a whole weekend of self-love.
Oh, how wonderful. Have a beautiful weekend, Kate. Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.